Alrighty guys, welcome back to the G-Man Show. Thank you for joining me again on the internet. Alright, we got a current affair. We're talking GST. More tax coming for you guys. Yeah. The coffers need to be filled, and there's a proposal here that is floating around from some independent experts that the GST should be raised to 15%. So, Big Daddy Government's going to come with its handout, tin in hand, and it's going to rattle it. Let's see what they say about it and what the consensus is, and the original is in the video description.
There was a famous chat about the GST on this show many moons ago, involving a birthday cake. 32 years on, we're having it again. This time, the proposal is to increase the tax from 10 to 15%. In return, everyone gets a cheque for $3,000 every year. Is it economic genius or a political bribe?
If they have to give you money to get idiots to take it on board, then that's telling you something. Why would they need to give an incentive for $3,000 for the masses to go, oh, I'm going to get my $3,000. I'm going to get my $3,000 in the bank account. The toothless blokes down in Moe, that's a few extra slabs. That's a few extra packet of dozens of manis from the local tobacconist. That's a good old few cartons of those. Yeah, boy. That's how we'll get it across the line. Let's bribe the masses so everyone signs up for another 5% more GST. And what's that going to do in this time? What is it going to do when everyone is struggling with the cost of stuff? It's going to push prices up more.
I think there's no doubt that our tax system is broken, and it's time for a bold change.
In a cost of living crisis,
the tax system's broken. It's broken. Let's tax more. Yeah.
This man wants everyone to pay more tax.
Nah.
But I want to give them something back in return. So I want to raise the rate of the GST to 15% and remove some of the exemptions.
Economist Richard Holden is the man behind the bold plan to make the GST higher and broader across products like food, education and health.
There we go. And we're going to give you $3,000 back, but every single thing now is going to be captured under GST, and we're raising the rate. But here's $3,000, you stupid idiots. Here's $3,000. Just, here, get $3,000 a year. Sign up to it. Because I want to help you out. I'm giving you something back, but taking more away. People, the masses, they'll go, you know what, that's a good idea. And I'm sure they are going to do some straight talk here, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Bring in an extra $24 billion in revenue each year.
Wrong time.
Spot on, darling.
Wrong time.
When would be the right time?
Never.
Not until inflation comes down.
I'd say no. 100%. It's hard to believe we're going to be paying for oxygen before we know it. In that case, I'm not going to be able to breathe.
Oh, yeah, and she's joking about it. But old love there, she's completely right. Oh, we're broke. We're broke. We keep wasting money. Let's go get some more money to waste. We're going to be no better off. If they were to say, you know what, we're going to do this for a certain amount of time to clear our debts. We have austerity measures in place. We're going to pay down everything. We're going to get into a better position. It's overall better off for everyone. We are locked into this strategy and plan. Maybe I'll get behind it. This is just getting more money to spend more money. And guess what? That's there forever. It's another source of revenue for the old Big Daddy Gov to suck out of us. A parasite, ticks, just sucking the blood out of its workforce. I'm not a fan of it. Oh, but G-Man, you need tax. Tax to pay for our hospitals and roads and all blah, 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 blah. They get enough tax. They piss it up completely against the wall half the time.
To ease the blow, it would be offset by a $3,300 rebate for all taxpayers.
And they show the shopping centre because that's it. Most idiots will go, oh, yeah, boy. Give me $3,000. I'm going straight down to Westfields. Yeah, plasma TV. I'm voting yes. Thanks to the TV.
says it would leave many better off.
Sure,
The
mate.
Parliamentary Budget Office has gone through that, and they say that on average, the bottom 60% of income earners would be better off.
Today on the streets of our capital cities, opinion was mixed.
That's right. And I'm going to stop. I know I'm interrupting. I'm just charged up on GST and tax. Yeah, the bottom 60%, exactly right. They're going to get everybody that they see as the main voter base, i.e. Labor voters. Hey, let's give you some money. Here's some money, and then you vote for us, okay? You're going to be better off. Yeah, you're going to be better off. Come on, mate. Get stuffed.
They didn't, but I wouldn't. You know, it's just life. Things go up.
They've done it over in New Zealand already, and I think I would have that tax on luxury items for particular projects that the country could aim to achieve.
I would also like to see people on Centrelink get some additional help there, because otherwise everything's just going to cost them more and they're on the same level of income before. That won't work.
Richard says the
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, everyone's going to be better off. Come on. But everyone's self-interested, so you're going to get a variation of responses here. But overall, it's going to push the basket of goods up across the board. And you think it's just going to be an extra 5% and they'll bake that in. It'll just open up the gates again, just like the old inflation scapegoat has, to keep pumping prices up. It won't be 5%. Okay, yeah, it's just a straight 5% on stuff. No, they're gonna use that. Oh well, yeah, GST went up, so we've raised everything by 20%. Well, I thought it was an extra 5% though. Oh yeah, but additional costs, and we got to push those through, unfortunately. And it's the government.
extra revenue would also allow the government to cut income tax rates, which are amongst some of the highest in the world.
What this would do after the compensation is leave you with enough money to cut the top marginal tax rate from 45 to 40, the second marginal tax rate from 37 to 32.5.
Why should we believe it's going to improve the economy by shifting taxes from income to indirect taxes?
As long as they're paying for good infrastructure and other services. So from that point of view, I don't mind too much.
Well, now we're going
they're going to pay bloated public servant wages that keep growing. It's the public sector workforce is bloated. It's expanding. They've got a lot of projects happening nationally. You got to pay for that. Not extra services. They're going to put extra roads and hospitals and all that. It's to pay for people. It's to pay for Albo's pension. It's to pay for Paul Keating to get his pension 30 years on. Call me cynical. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to make life better for you. We're going to drop the tax rates. How about this? Okay, if you really want to help people out, drop the tax rates and index them. So there isn't this bracket creep that happens every single year as people keep earning more and more. It pushes over these brackets that don't move. So it's free revenue. Oh, yeah, but we're going to help people out now because we've had bracket creep happening for the last 15 years. And, we're going to help you out now. Here's $3,000 and a little cut. And then 30 years on, you're still in the same place. But they're getting more tax and there's more creep. I love talking tax. That's why I'm ranting, okay? It charges me right up.
to pay taxes. I guess it's just always trying to work out a fairer way to distribute the taxes amongst the people.
Independent MP Kate Cheney backs the idea and joins me now. Kate, clearly there's a bit of an appetite for tax reform, but once we start seeing our grocery bills going up each week, that is a tough sell.
It is, Alli, but because of the basics rebate that we're talking about, the $3,300 cheque that you get from the government to cover that, actually what it means is the first $22,000 you spend is entirely GST free. So for lower and middle income earners, they will be better off under this plan.
Oh, yeah, wow. I don't think so. I don't trust it at all. This is just trying to push things through, get votes, get something brought in from a subset of voters who, and I know this sounds bad, are probably not as educated and understand what they're even voting for and what their implications long term are. You're better off. Here's some money. Go buy a plasma TV. I'm not saying that that I'm not saying that your income status, your socioeconomic status, is a direct indicator of a lack of intelligence, but it definitely should be a link to education factors in most cases, and people who will understand how the world works a bit more. Not some guy down in Maui throwing stubbies over the fence. Yeah, boy, and smash, bang, and it smashes on the road. Yeah, cheers, Albo. Thanks for another carton of 4X, mate.
So that $3,300 payment we'll get each year, is that a bribe, Kate?
Yes.
No, it's simply returning the GST on the first $22,000. So what we're saying is we need more tax paid by people who can afford to spend more.
Because I don't know, I mean, it kind of looks, sounds and smells a bit like a bribe when we're told, here you go, take the $3,300, but then everything else is going to go up.
Well, I suppose there are different ways that it could be structured, and really what we need to look at is how do we include GST in our broad view of our tax system.
For the people.
We have one of the lowest GSTs in OECD countries, about half the average. So by bringing the GST more in line with other countries, we will actually be able to afford to have personal income tax cuts and also fix the budget.
So, Kate, why are you throwing your support around this? Because no one likes to talk about taxes, and certainly when you tell us they're going to go up, we get queasy. So why are you throwing your hat in the ring with this?
I think it's really important to say this out loud because our politicians are gutless and everyone's happy to talk about tax cuts, but it's not a magic pudding. The numbers have to add up and the money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, the people, right? The people. How about you tax big companies? But no, because they'll leave. They'll throw tantrums. They'll lobby against you. Why are these massive companies who are structuring their tax affairs and moving money around able to pay such minimal tax in this country while earning a significant amount of money here? You know, hiring the likes of the big four tax lawyers and advisors and how to structure it so you pay absolutely minimal. Have a think about that. Oh, well, we're doing what we can. They pay their fair share. Yeah, all right, whatever. All right, halfway through this rant, guys. If you're enjoying my content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm pretty charged up today. This is what you're in for on a daily basis. Consider liking and subbing and all that sort of stuff. It really helps me out. I don't like asking for it, but it does work. So if you could do that, put a comment in. Let's get this channel up and running. Cheers.
If we don't, all the experts would agree that we need to look at GST, but politicians aren't brave enough to actually say it out loud.
And look, I do agree. I think people are open to that conversation. But when it comes to the GST, so it's going to increase and apply to more goods and services. So that's including fresh food, health, childcare, education. If you add all of that up, it comes to more than $3,300 for a lot of people.
Well, the GST aspect of it doesn't come to more than $3,300, and in fact, that's what the modelling did. It looked at
no, but
how much more
I disagree.
GST.
I look at my grocery bills every week, and then if you talk about you add childcare and education and health, adding that 5% to everything, I think you get to that figure pretty quickly.
That's it. Get into her. Lay in, left, right, good night. Good old Alli. Have a crack. Don't go along with it. I should be on a current affair.
Well, I'm relying on the Parliamentary Budget Office because that's their job to look at the data and give us numbers that we can rely on. So,
but I think that's also kind of your problem though, Kate, right? Because it's kind of giving me vibes of the PM promising to cut our energy bills by $275. Yep. Kate, we have trust issues with Canberra.
They promise one thing, they do another. Yeah, guys, sign up to the deal. You're going to be better off. Are we ever better off, guys? No, we're not. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick of people buying into it. The government's there to help you. It's scheming. It's moving things around. It's completely scheming behaviour. How do we get more money out of people? There's going to be an absolute direct increase. Is it going to be 5%? I've been ranting about that before. They're here to look after us. No, they wouldn't do that. We need to get... Guys, we need a tax for the hospitals and the roads. No, we need a tax to pay bureaucrats. Why is John Howard and why are Paul Keating and why is, I don't know, Gough Whitlam, why would they still be getting paid money decades after being in office? I don't lose a job and then get paid for it forever. What's that? At the taxpayer's expense. Get stuffed. I don't know if that still exists or what, but I know it's grandfathered, so these people are still getting paid big bickies for doing sweet FA. Who's paying for it? We are. Get stuffed.
The problem is, if we don't put these ideas on the table, then we will be relying on a shrinking proportion of the population, which is young workers, to support the growing needs of an ageing population for the next few decades. And this system is just not fair for younger Australians. And we have to be brave about this, even though it can be difficult.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
brave,
if the government is making more money...
Be brave to get pillaged even more. And then what? Then it's 20%. And then they everything else goes up. And they're going to start putting higher excise tax and hidden taxes on other stuff, pushing prices up. I know I sound like an old man yelling at clouds, but this is what's happening. It affects every single one of us. And you know what? We're powerless to do anything about it because the guys with no teeth down in Moe, smashing back durries, chain smoking, living on the dole. Yeah, tax them. We need more money for the roads.
Money from it, it means we're paying them more than we are now.
That's right, which is borne by high income earners. And then the government can choose what to do with that money. And I would like to see them return that to us in the form of personal income tax cuts.
But how do we then trust that those numbers have been crunched right and that 60% of people will actually be better off? Because I think that's the hard sell, right? Convincing people that in the long run, they will be better off.
Yeah, good old high income earners. What, people are making, over 100 grand a year or whatever it is. Come on, that's not high income these days. Absolute piss take. So what's the point of studying or being a business owner, being a tradie, running your own shop, breaking your back to try and build a business, and you start doing well? Well, you need to pay more tax. Commie. We're living in communism. Oh, well, it's a progressive tax system, G. Now get stuffed. That's it. You give them an inch and they take a mile. Yeah, if anyone's earning really good money, well, they need to be taxed more. They need to pay their fair share. It's actually not fair. Fair means that people pay the same tax rate as other people. We should have flat tax rate. Get stuffed. And get stuck in a big business. Get stuck into them. If they don't want to play ball, they can piss off then.
And I would...
They outsource all their jobs to bloody India and the Philippines anyway.
Welcome further analysis and further modelling on this. I'm not saying this is the final proposal that we should pass tomorrow, but this idea needs to be part of the discussion because it is possible to structure it so that it is better for low and middle income earners.
Will this force inflation up, which means interest rates go up too?
Yep.
Probably.
Don't know.
It'd be a one-off shift because of the GST, jumping. But we went through this. We managed to get a GST up 25 years ago.
But was that at a time when we had the inflationary pressures that we're facing right now?
Well, I don't think this is going to happen tomorrow. I think this will take time. And how it's phased in and how we transition to it would be part of that discussion. What I do think is that we need to be willing to talk about it and not just, as the Prime Minister's doing, rule out anything that sounds like it might be hard.
And look,
you should rule it out. Life's hard for people. So we're going to speak. Yeah, I'm bringing cost of living down. No, yeah, good on you, mate. More taxes. It's just never going to stop. Never going to stop. They got these. I want to talk about tax, right? For another. Every time I see that the government's, we're helping the pub owners because we're not increasing the infinitely increasing tax rate on beer for 2 years. We're helping them. How about drop it? How about give people some reprieve? It's like cigarettes. They go for them and go for them and go for them. And look what, we've got a massive black market, all this crime and gang stuff going on. That's next for alcohol. Who can go and spend $17 on a pint? A Carlton. smashing back a pint of UB for $15.
And that is it. The Prime Minister's ruled it out today that he won't even talk about this before the next election. So if they don't want to touch the GST, is this just pie in the sky stuff?
Yeah, hopefully.
No, because any reform requires conversations across our community. And if this economic roundtable starts a conversation where people start to think, well, maybe we do need to do some stuff that's a bit different, if that means that at the next election, both parties actually have to bring something to the table on tax reform that's a serious proposition, then I think that is great progress, because we certainly haven't had that for the last 20 years.
And let's look at this from a different angle, why the government needs more revenue. It is hopeless at managing our money, Kate.
Yeah.
Well, and cutting, I would like it if the budget actually matched up each year, at least over the economic cycle. The reality is we've got an ageing population, which means more health costs, more aged care costs.
Is that coming from the Durries, though? Isn't that coming from the Dozzers? From the all that money you could have gotten if you didn't get too greedy. Now the Mannies are taking all of it. The double happiness. What do you get? You're getting something like $20 billion a year from smokes alone. Yeah, that's for hell. Where's that gone?
We have an NDIS. We want to support people with disabilities. People do expect a lot from government services.
But if we just sort of look, I guess, at some examples of waste in Canberra, I mean, you mentioned the NDIS scheme. That is rotted, it's flawed, it's blown out by billions to the point of being barely sustainable. Last year alone, the federal government spent more than $250 million on ads, Kate. Ads. It cost taxpayers $835 million to cancel a French submarine deal to go with AUKUS, and who knows what we'll get from that. All levels of government are spending like drunken sailors. Nothing comes in on budget. No one's ever held to account.
Yeah.
In the private sector, you'd
Far out. She should come on here. I like her. Get stuck in. Absolute jumper punches here. She's grabbed us by the scruff of the jumper and bang, bang, bang. Good on you.
get the sack.
Absolutely, and I come from the private sector, and I think I keep pushing for greater transparency and accountability in government.
Are you a lone ranger when it comes to GST reform? Are you independent in every sense of the word, or do you have support in Canberra?
I suspect that there will be some support. It's politically really scary for people to talk about tax, and I understand that. But if someone doesn't start it, then we're never going to make any progress at all. So I look forward to that conversation continuing over the 3 years, and hopefully both parties getting some guts on this and being willing to take a tax reform.
Yeah, get some guts, guys. Give the government some more money to waste. Yeah, get some guts. We need to tackle it. And you are brave and strong if you want to pay more money in tax and on your everyday items, because that takes guts, and we need to do that. All right, see you later, guys. Enough ranting for me today. As you can tell, I'm definitely in the mood. Cheers. Bye.